Intense, dramatic movie trailer. It starts with a notification. You're scrolling, you enter a giveaway on a whim, close the app, and forget about it. Then suddenly, this post pops up on my feed. I won a signed indie author book in an Instagram raffle, and my brain just kind of short-circuited. At first, the dopamine hit was pretty straightforward. Free book, signed book, pretty aesthetic object for my shelf, obviously. But when I actually held the physical copy, the excitement shifted into something heavier. Somebody sat down, poured their hyperfixations into a document, and manifested an actual story into the world. And my inner teenager was just sitting there realizing, wait, we actually did it. We became authors. If you're new to my corner of the internet, hi, this is episode 1 of The 7 Sisters. It's a series where I'm unpacking 7 hard-earned lessons from my 7 years navigating the trenches as an author. We're talking gothic romantasy, everyday magic, and figuring out how to build a creative life that doesn't completely drain our batteries. Before we get into the weeds, tiny disclaimer, I am not a publishing gatekeeper. I'm not an agent, an editor, or some industry executive. I'm literally just a peer, a neurodivergent creator, trying to figure out a sustainable path in a really overwhelming space. Come learn with me, take what resonates, and question what doesn't. Publishing doesn't have a universal cheat code. There is no one-size-fits-all rulebook. Instead of trying to force ourselves into rigid, traditional boxes, we actually have to build the ecosystem we want to exist in, together. Which brings me to this physical artifact, Petals, Steel, and a Savage Kind of Love by Janae Howard. Janae was completely transparent that AI was used in the cover process, combined with heavy human editing. My immediate reaction was a massive yes. The conversation around AI usually stalls at a binary good versus bad. The actual question is how the creator wields the tool. We have to look for the human creative judgment. When you hold this book, you can feel the deliberate choices. You open it up and immediately see a dedication to her parents and her faith. There's a table of contents with specific, intentional chapter titles. These structural formatting choices prove there is a massive amount of personal, emotional investment baked into these pages. Now, it's a short read, only 7 chapters, but do not let the page count trick you. You cannot skip around. If you skim this, you will get lost. I learned that the hard way. The text demands your full attention. The dialogue rewards that attention. We are dealing with high fantasy royalty, politics, and kingdoms, but the characters don't sound like they're stiffly reading from a Shakespeare script. They are witty, quick, and conversational. They actually sound like real people. From the careful formatting structure to the incredibly grounded character interactions, you see the fingerprints of the author everywhere. That clear human intention is exactly what elevates a project from generated text to a crafted, lived-in reader experience. So let's get into the actual stakes. We are looking at a runaway bride on the run, entangled with 3 different kings. We've got political warfare, freedom hanging by a thread, and multiple kingdoms ready to collapse. The romantic dynamics completely flip the script. Instead of your standard, predictable love triangle, where everyone politely waits their turn, these relationships are constantly shifting, colliding, and injecting pure chaos into the plot. These relationships pull out completely different shades of our protagonist, Jasira. You are watching her become entirely different versions of herself, depending strictly on who she is surviving against. Also, a massive shout out to Jasira's best friend. She is African American, and having that vital representation grounded directly in a high fantasy setting means absolutely everything to me as a reader. And then we hit the cliffhanger. The first time I read the ending, I literally just stared at the wall in pure, unfiltered confusion. I was entirely blindsided. So my neurodivergent brain did what it does best. I hyperfixated. I read the book again and again. By my 5th reread, the subtle character shifts I'd missed finally made the cliffhanger feel inevitable rather than accidental. A story that hands you every single secret on page 1 gets boring fast. A narrative that forces you to peel back the layers, reread the text, and reevaluate the characters over time is a mark of powerful storytelling. Reviewing this book forced me back to the basics. It's a reminder of why I started typing in the first place, to just get the loud, messy stories out of my head and into the physical world. That original, pure excitement is easy to lose. The reality of indie publishing is often isolating. You're trying to figure out sustainable marketing, fighting off crushing imposter syndrome, and most days you're just staring at a glowing screen, completely burned out. In the middle of all that exhaustion, this physical book showed up at my door, signed, with a personalish thank you note for supporting her dreams. It acted as an immediate emotional tether, pulling me out of my own head. When holding another creator's published work in your hands, the imposter syndrome gets a little quieter. It bridges the gap between feeling like you're faking it and realizing that the dream you are chasing is a tangible reality. This is why I place so much emphasis on community over networking. Networking is transactional. It's a professional requirement that drains your social battery because you are constantly asking, what can I extract from this interaction? Community is different. True community is a living ecosystem. It's looking at another creator's success and seeing proof of concept, rather than viewing them as competition for a limited slice of the pie. You build that ecosystem through actual, tangible actions. You buy the book. You share their social media posts. You leave an honest review. You show up to their virtual launch parties and hype them up in the comments. So, for the official Romantasy and Routine rating, spoons cost 2 spoons. It's short, but it takes mental energy. Spoons returned, 3 spoons of dopamine. And hot chocolate warmth, a solid 4 out of 5. If you have the energy and the spoons today, go support Janae Howard. Check out Petals, Steel, and A Savage Kind of Love. And get ready, because her sequel is dropping next spring. Witnessing and actively uplifting another author's achievement reminds you that your own creative dreams are still breathing, valid, and entirely possible.